One last thing. When he finally stopped drinking before he died, he replaced booze with buttermilk and just drank like gallons of it a day.
My God, what?
I know. Dude.
How
and
the
they barely
you land on that?
They barely had refrigerators too. Like that's the worst buttermilk.
Oh, yeah, Bumbleclat.
Old school bumbleclat. Is that what bumbleclat means? You're smoking weed?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I think doesn't it just mean like hits or big,
hits.
Or it's like
like
that's a Bumbleclat blunt.
Is it offensive for
I
us
don't
to
know.
say?
I don't know. Yeah, well, yes, I do know.
Oh,
yes,
right.
I think it is. Airheads are back.
Why is it that we don't care about that one?
I don't know, but so we're back in there at Virtual Airstream Studios. Show just threw me completely off guard. But that was a blunt, was it not?
It was a blunt, yeah.
You be smoking blunts, dog?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you was just on the same page as me.
One puff,
which is to say, the demon wacky weed sends you straight to the innermost depths of the void. Is that not the case anymore?
It isn't with flour. It tends to be like the gummy. Here's what I've found. First off, you see how big this is? Not that big. I've had this same one for at least 8 puff sessions. Like I just take a little hit and then I put it out in my coffee cup and I put this over it so that it puts itself out. One puff is all I want. And I found that with flour, here's the deal. Can I get too high on regular flour weed? Absolutely. But I've always been able to like shake that off. Like, okay, like whatever. But with the gummy, I've always said it's like that's just in there till it's in your fat. You know what I mean? And this is a funny thing to say after you've just watched me smoke weed, but I'm sober right now. and it's really, I find that when I take a tiny puff of weed and have me a couple non-alcoholic beers, I truly feel like I've been to the bar, but I wake up feeling good. Like, so I'm like, I've got a routine here. It's working. I've lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks by just not drinking. Now, granted, also because I've moved around more because I'm not laying around in agony, but like 20 pounds, and that's really the only thing I've done.
Yeah, I mean that's how Chris Pratt's character in Parks and Rec said that he got shredded. Like real life, Chris Pratt got shredded to be Star-Lord, and in the show Parks and Rec, which was still running, the canon in-universe explanation for that was I just quit drinking 40 beers a day.
Yeah, and it does work.
Yeah. No, well, good for you. I've had people who fuck with weed tell me that, and I'm sure that it is true. It's one of those things that's like, I guess I don't care enough to even test it out. But the idea that I've had people tell me, because I tell them, it's like, dude, gummies, I got to a point where it's like, I'm a 1 milligram gummy could ruin my day.
Yeah.
And it's like, at that point, it's like, that's almost nothing. So what am I doing? And I've had people tell me, it's like, well, gummies are your problem. It's like, if you tried just smoking a little bit, and so you're backing that up, and I do believe you. It's just like I said, it's not something I care enough about to like run down to the weed store and get some and test it out and everything. So I'm just rolling with not doing it. Of course, I support all of our what's the word for what potheads? Isn't there like a word for that? Stoners, yeah, something like that. The first thing. First thing that came to my head was Wooks, but I think that's that is a music festival thing. I think maybe it's either specifically Fish fans or it's a like just a real dirty hippie. I think.
I was about to say like Wooks sounds like something that you'd call a hippie girl's bush. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let me see. I may have this wrong. And so it's not about fish. Sorry to all the Fish fans. Apparently, it's not related to Fish directly, but I guess Fish fans have a like stereotypical tendency to lean towards the wookish persuasion. But it says the term is usually used to refer to someone at music festivals with lower than average personal hygiene.
Oh, most of it. A lot of wooks.
Yeah, right.
Drew a wook.
Yeah, I mean, Drew pretty stank. I'm sure he would. Like, I had a buddy that worked security or whatever, something like that at Bonnaroo for like 6-7 straight years. And he told me once, he told me a few stories, but one of the ones he told me, he said they, speaking of Fish, he said they hated it. Him and his crew hated it anytime Fish was there because of all the wooks that they bring in.
Yeah, yeah.
And he said that, like, he told me a story about a wook at the fish show, of course, on the main stage, in the middle of like the pit in front of the stage there, just like pulling his shorts down and just taking a shit right there because he didn't want to leave. He had to poop and he didn't want to leave, so he just pooped in the middle of like the pit where everybody else was at. And so that's like what wooks be doing.
Can you imagine having like I can't, man. Like, I think sometimes I feel like I have too much shame. Like, I'm so ashamed of myself all the time that I try to go the other way. You know, it's like I feel like I'm the guy in the Mulaney bit when he's like, you could pour soup on me and I'd apologize. I'm that way. Like, I want to try to, you know.
Me and you have that in common. We are people pleasers. AKA dough mats.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But on the other hand, I would never publicly defecate in front of people.
Yeah, I feel like there's a middle ground.
There is a middle ground, sure.
But by the way,
for the record, Drew would not do this. He would fart on everybody, but he wouldn't shit.
And Drew goes a little feral and embraces his like filthy hippie side with, you know, reckless abandon quite frequently, especially at music festivals, but he still isn't a wook. And I was just about to say, just so everybody knows, because we got into this by me. I want to make it clear. I'm not saying people that smoke weed are wooks. That word popped into my head and I realized
if you're a wook, you smoke weed.
Yes, but I'm not saying everybody who smokes weed is a wook. It's just that word popped in my head and then I realized that wasn't the word I was looking for. But the one thing that I saw fish related at Bonnaroo one year, which I always thought was funny, because I used to get, I think it even before I stopped going, which was 12 fucking years ago, 2013 was the last Bonnaroo that I went to.
Damn, I've been since you. That's crazy.
Which is insane. And, but even by the time I stopped going, it was getting more kind of bro-y and corporate-y and stuff like that. But before that, I really bought into the whole, like, you know, sort of hippy dippy, it's all love, man, type of thing. Of Bonnaroo,
it's fun to pretend for a week,
right?
That the earth is.
It's all, you know, fucking music is, you know, God is music, God is love. We're all
queer
fucking fucked up and having a good time. We hit with each other. Yeah, right. I like bought into that, and because for the first few Bonnaroos I ever went to, I never saw any drama or bullshit at all, with the lone exception of like the second or third one I went to, and Fish was one of the headliners. I was sitting at the witch stage waiting on whatever show to start. I don't even remember who it was. And as me and my crew were sitting there, security, which I'd never even noticed Bonnaroo security. Again, I had a buddy that worked. I knew they were there, but I'd never even noticed them before this. Security drags this guy this guy was not a wook at all, but I think he had gotten into an altercation with a wook.
Yeah, I can see that.
This guy seemed kind of like, well, me or you now, but again, this was 15 years ago. Right. So he was like an old dad in a ball cap or whatever, who was being drug away by security. And as they drug him past us, as he's fading into the evening, he goes, oh yeah. Well, Fish fucking sucks.
And there's a whole subreddit for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I just always remember that. It always cracked me up because it's like, I bet that probably did cut that guy pretty deep. Whoever was on the other end of that, whoever was on the other end of that.
If they're pooping not to miss their goddamn show, dude. How would you like to be known as you got the stinkiest ass fans in the whole fucking world?
Yeah, I know. Stinky butted ass motherfuckers in the game. That I don't know where you're at on them now, but we talked recently in the group chat. Yeah, well, because you made a video that you put out where you talked about this, but my first memory of Fish at all was fraudulent and ill-founded, because like a lot of people in our generation, I downloaded, it was like viral before viral even was like a thing, or at the very beginning of virality. This song got very popular and got passed around to people of our generation. It was a bluegrass cover of Gin and Juice, right? Mm-hmm. And it's fire if you've never heard it. And everybody was listening to it.
It honestly ruined Gin and Juice, the regular, for me. Like, I exclusively want to hear the bluegrass version.
So, and it got passed around a lot, and this is the age of Napster and LimeWire and stuff, and it was one of those situations, because obviously that was the Wild West, that was piracy, open seas shit. The file that everyone passed around was mislabeled. It said Gin and Juice cover by Fish. It said that was Fish doing it, and that was my introduction to Fish. I was like, tell you what, Fish hits, right? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And so I went on erroneously believing that for so long until I finally realized
Did
that
you check out any other Fish hits?
It was never fit. Well, Thompson was raised by hippies, so his dad like fucked with Fish a little bit. And I was like, this is the same band. And it's like, make it clear, because I'm sure I'm pissing some people off. I know that Trae Anastasio is I know they're all very talented musicians and stuff. I don't know.
You either like jam bands or you don't. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
And they're the most jammy of jam, the fucking noodling for 27 minutes and shit like that before another song. It's just not for me. But it was like whiplash, because I came into them thinking like, oh, this is what's up. Just so everybody knows, the actual cover is by a band called The Gourds.
Who do hit.
And they do hit. If you've never heard their song, Burn the Honeysuckle, I highly recommend you. That's my favorite song of theirs. But they do hit. And Fish, for me, don't hit. And so Napster really confused me in my adolescence.
I don't know if Fish is putting out new songs. I'd assume that they definitely don't have to, because they're a touring band that like the people will come see them play their old set list forever. But like, I got introduced to Fish when I was in like elementary school, because an older dude lived with my family and he fucked with Fish. And I do like like when I say I like them, I like the songs that I've heard on their albums, but that's very different than seeing Fish live. You know what I mean? Like, that's very different. So like, the 3 to 4 minute songs that I heard them put out, like I did like them, but yeah, I personally also don't want to sit there and just hear some people for now. I mean, you know, obviously if I'm fucked up on a bunch of drugs, but that's way different. That goes without saying. I'm gonna be having a good time doing anything. And if I am fucked up on drugs, I'd still prefer it to be seeing Jason Isbell, you know what I mean? But
I was gonna say, if you're real fucked up on like festival drugs, that for me, that's when like I'll fuck real hard with like these are such dated references, but like Pretty Lights or Bass Nectar or fucking Skrillex, that type of, which like I don't otherwise fuck in my day-to-day life. But if I'm fucked up at a festival on drugs, like that shit hits real hard for me. But there's another subset of festival goers that if they're fucked up at a festival on drugs, they want the Fish thing, and I've just never been that. I'd rather find me a DJ or a silent disco or something.
Yeah, and on that note, like, because I'm normally not, I never choose to listen to jam bands on my Spotify or anything like that. But people like Fish, I feel like it is situational, but it doesn't just have to be at a festival. Like, for some reason, I didn't know this was a thing. My buddies got me into this band called Goose, and they're a jam band, and they're awesome. They really are good. But we listened to them on the golf course. They just started playing them, and on the golf course, for some reason, I do like jam bands because it's just background music, and I'm usually high and drunk or whatever. And I just found out recently, like I saw Foreplay, the Barstool people, talking about having Goose to do something. I don't know. I think every golfer somehow likes Goose, but I don't know know. I don't understand the origin of it, because my buddies were not watching Barstool figuring out let's play Goose, but Goose got really popular on our golf course. But yeah, I mean, you know, I saw Blues Traveler, and you know, they're a little jammy live, you know, but it's John Popper with his harmonica, which like I did pay to see that.
Also, it's just not like one of my favorite live bands from that era, not just live, but period, from that era, was My Morning Jacket, and I always thought they did. I don't know if you've ever seen them live, but I always thought they did.
You and Amber saw them at the same time and didn't know it.
Yeah, that hits for me. Mm-hmm. And I always thought
they saw our tits and don't remember.
I don't know, because at that time there was a buddy I was going to Bonnaroo with every single year, and we used to keep a running tab of number of titties seen, like a competition.
Yeah, like
I'd come back from one show and he went to another, and I'd come back and he'd be like, saw 6 titties, and I'd be like, 12. Wait, like, 12? You know, and it's like, but it depends on what shows.
Do you mean sets of titties or 12 individual titties?
We did gross number.
Yeah, because you might see a 0.5 at Bonnaroo.
Yes, exactly. So like, no, overall number, not sets.
Yeah.
So I think she would have at least been in the count if I'd seen her, if her titties had come out there, but or in view of me. But anyway, My Morning Jacket, I always felt like they do
Jim James, baby.
For me, perfect amount of jam. Like, they've got a great live album. If you listen to it, they take their songs that are 3 or 4 minutes. Too. They jam for they take a 3-4 minute song and it's 8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And not even all of them. And that hits for me. But like each song is fucking 30 minutes long or whatever. I just can't do it. But on the
also,
music
songs hit.
Well, yeah, there's also that. Like when they jam on fucking One Big Holiday, for example,
my God,
it's like
dude, I can't imagine.
Goes so hard. But anyway, speaking of music, there was one I wanted to just start with this, but we're still at the start. I want to. This is sort of somewhat in the. All I'm going to tell you is, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. If you're watching this on YouTube, when I go to share my screen, please close your eyes. If you're listening, lucky you, this will hit harder for you, I think, because I don't want to spoil it.
When do I close?
The only thing I'll tell you about it is this is in the vein of that David Guetta thing.
Shout out to George Floyd and his family.
Yeah, shout out to his family. Right. Yes, exactly. This is kind of in the vein of that, which maybe I shouldn't have even have said that, but I did. So here we go. Keep your eyes closed. I'm pulling it up right now. Okay, here we go.
Buckingham Palace has announced the death of His Royal Highness.
I didn't even hear who they announced the death of.
Hang on, let's do one more time. Just one more.
Buckingham Palace has announced the death of His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh.
Oh my God, he would have hated that.
So,
God, he would have hated that.
You could see it says the clip on the Instagram. It's got a title at the top that announces that that's what it's going to be.
I'm so glad you thought about that because that hit exponentially harder for me than it would have.
Now, see what you just said. This commenter here says, knowing Prince Philip's sense of humor, he would have found this funny. You disagree with that?
I meant he wouldn't have hated that they interrupted music. I think he would have hated that it was that bugger music. Yes, he would probably say.
There's no way that music hit. What kind of music you think did hit for him? Just like
one lady in a cello that he threw out the window afterwards, so no one could ever hear her sweet picking again.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What do they just?
I mean,
fat Italian women singing,
or unironically,
singing until glasses explode.
I bet you he kind of dug African tribes people hitting drums, but like in a way that I wouldn't enjoy it that way. You know what I mean?
Everything that I've seen from The Crown indicates that they did enjoy watching their subjects do some tribal shit. Put on a little tribal show for them.
Yes, but the key word is watching their subjects do a thing. You know, like. It's not the thing. It's him making someone do a thing for him.
Yeah. Another hidden comment. So obviously he was the Duke of Edinburgh. And this commenter says, more like the Duke of EDM, bruh.
Nice. God, I bet you it does not hit for the people of Scotland that he's called that.
Oh, yeah. You know that's right.
I wish we had asked one of them about that specifically.
That he was called that?
Yeah. Because, I mean, I've heard I've seen some stuff about how it don't hit for them. Like the Welsh people, it don't hit for them that they have the Prince of Wales or whatever. But it to me would sound funnier hearing a Scottish person complain than a Welsh person complain. You know what I mean? They're just a funnier sounding people.
Yeah. Speaking of the Brits and being a funny sounding people, I had another clip that I thought would hit for you, and I appreciate. You can have your eyes open for this one, but this is another Instagram reel that someone has put like a caption on.
I'll try to put my thumb over it.
Nah, it's all right. It doesn't ruin anything. It's just that I don't give a fuck about the caption. Is all I'm saying.
Okay.
Like the caption is not part of me sharing it. The clip itself is why I'm sharing it on this show.
I'm so glad how thorough you are with everything.
Well, it's important. People need to know where I stand on these things.
I know. I would do it too. Please understand. It's just the sound.
Yeah, and it's this is Robert Smith from The Cure. We're just talking about just the British sensibility. The way that they are.
I think I know this one, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Congratulations, The Cure Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees 2019. Are you as excited as I am?
By the sounds of it, no.
That's so goddamn funny.
Just been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and just can't be arsed, as they say.
Hell no. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame.
Right. Just so put off by like fabricated American enthusiasm,
Yeah.
Like that's just, I don't know. I'm sure other countries have the same version of this lady, and not just this lady, but it feels like a very American thing that like where people are just real bubbly and shit like that.
Yeah.
And you just know that it ain't real.
Right. It's not, dude, there's
like, I can't stand that. And it's so common. And I know it's like, well, dude, she's on the red carpet. She's got to bring the energy. It's always been a pet
her
peeve.
Fault that that's what the job is. Because she wouldn't have that job if she didn't do that,
Right. Like, and yes, that's all true. That's never hit for me.
Yeah. I would never fault the often woman who it is. I mean, sometimes it's a dude. He's gay, but still, sometimes it's a dude. But like in golf, for instance, there's a lot of very pretty female correspondents, and like they have to, they're like they're resting. No one's resting face is this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like no one. Right. No one's you smile and then you stop smiling. Your resting face is not that. And then, they have to talk with all this. After this dude's had just the biggest shit round of his fucking life. And you can tell he just wants to choke that lady. But again, she has to do that or they won't let her do it.
Yeah. And this, I don't know if it's true because California's definitely got their version of it too. But I feel like there's a version of that whole thing from the South, maybe just because I'm from there, that I find just particularly grating. Girls. Where it's like, right? What you said? Real estate girls,
yeah,
right.
And they're always in that mode, even at the food line,
right? And it's so much. It's so like aggressively sweet
and robotic.
Or whatever, aggressively sweet and enthusiastic. It's like I just don't believe any of this, and it always pisses. Now, some of this is personal because I had girlfriends that were like that and stuff, but like, and
not me. Dead behind the eyes whores. All of me, son. Every one of them.
But sometimes they can be, that's what I'm saying. You don't see the enthusiasm in their eyes. You know what I mean? It's not there. You know that it's fake, but it's just like, hey, how are you? They just get, but I want to also, disclaimer, the ones who do that plays as genuine to me.
Yeah, there are some people who just be like that.
Like, for example, my fellow comedian Leanne Morgan, right?
Yeah, she's like that.
She's like that, and it's 100% genuine, and I adore her. Yeah. She's incredible. Like, she's not faking. It's like, I feel like you can tell when they're faking it.
My buddy
and
Kit.
When it's real, and it only bothers me when they're faking it. When they're legit like that, they're some of my favorite people on earth. But the ones that are faking it, it just drives me up the wall.
You remember the dude at my wedding who took his shirt off, built like a bowling ball? Kit?
Of course,
he's like that. But I know I've been with him in every circumstance. That's who he is. Second, if you woke him up out of a coma at 5 o'clock in the morning, he wouldn't go, "What the fuck?" He'd go, "Hey, buddy, how you doing, man?" Like he's so fucking happy to see you. You know what I mean? Like he turns, but like, it's not fake at all. But like that's when you know it's fake. Even when you don't know the person, you can kind of know. But like I went to high school with some of these people, and I've hung out with them at parties. I'm like, dog, you hate everything. You are not, and that's fine. But you are not this vessel of love that you purport to be.
Well, it's like I can't remember if it was this show or Well Read. I've definitely told this before. Hopefully it was Well Read. Even if this just this show, it's been a while. But perfect example, what we're talking about, a dude, an older guy. In my old day job in the federal government for the DOE, there was this older dude who was so like that every day, and everybody liked it because there was a lot of people there who were like that. But this guy was like over the top. Somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Yeah, I was about to say, were you the only one there that had the case of the Mondays, Trae?
Every day I had the case of the Mondays, and yes, I was that person. Like, dude, people would come to my office. Like, people would come by my office and look around and be like, it's like you're trying to be miserable. Are you trying to be miserable?
Well, you just had all the lights off.
Well, I just didn't. People would decorate their offices and stuff, and I didn't. I just keep mine just totally Spartan with the fluorescent light. Yeah. Right. And that's what I'm saying. It'd be that type of thing. They all called me Eeyore, it was like a running joke. But again, that's how I felt about that shit. And I was not going to fake it. It was insane to them, so many of them, that another thing I wouldn't do.
Something else?
Well, no, I mean, they got that, but they had no, they didn't think that it would happen. And then, to their credit, by the way, when it did happen, they were all very happy for me.
Right.
They were all very cool about it. But another thing, I know you feel this way too. One even bigger than that, one of my biggest pet peeves on earth. You were just talking about this with Elon Musk, like last night in a group chat or something. People that like think that they're funny, but it isn't. Is maybe my number one pet peeve on play. I don't care if you're not fun. Not everybody's funny. It's fine. It doesn't bother me if you're not a funny person.
Not funny,
right? But
sometimes,
but if you're not funny and you clearly think you are, and in like a corporate or office environment, and with Elon Musk, he's the pinnacle of this. Right. What happens is people fake laugh whenever a superior says something or whatever. You'll be in a big meeting and like a boss, a manager figure or something will say something that isn't funny. Right. And everyone laughs at it anyway. And like, I never did. Of course. I never did. And people would say to me, like coworkers around my age and stuff, they'd be like, it is so wild that you do that, because again, like I just sit there stone face, while everyone around me is laughing because the boss said something funny. And I just can't, like, I can't do it, And so, like we said, like with Elon Musk, what was the thing you sent? Somebody told a story about being in a party with him and I'll read
the tweet, dog, because it is.
The tweet is from a guy who's clearly sucking up to Elon in this moment, so it's very on brand.
Where the fuck is it? I thought I sent it to y'all.
I pretty much remember it. Elon said something, and this guy who I guess probably maybe did know him in real life was like, I remember the last time we hung out, 2017, at some stupid fundraiser.
What Elon said was, I'm not a real big drinker, but there is something beautiful about the red wine in a glass
of red wine,
which is what prompted this.
And this guy was like, yeah, I remember the last time we hung out, 2017, at some fundraiser, and I went to get you some more wine, and you didn't want to wait. You said, quote, Honey Badger, what did he say? Honey Badger.
He said, I've got it right here.
Drinks when he wants.
I was decanting another. You didn't want to wait. Honey Badger drinks when he wants. Then the worst part. Yeah, that's what Elon said. But then the worst part is this dude goes, I made the clutch move of ordering us a pizza at 1 a.m.
And so like Elon has gone his whole adult life saying things unironically, like in his brain saying things like, Honey Badger drinks when he wants. But when which is awful. Guy. Right, exactly. But when he says it, every person who's physically around him in that moment falls out.
Of course.
Like, dude, you are a honey badger. You're such a honey badger, dude. You're so right. Like, fuck, you do whatever you want, man. Like, and so he thinks that he's hitting with that shit. And I just, if I think about that too much, it makes me not able to sleep at night. Just the injustice of that. Leave aside all the fucking political disagreements and shit like that I had with Elon and what he represents and capitalism and all that shit. Putting all that aside, just knowing that he thinks he's funny
it's horrible.
And cool and that he hits because of the way all the sycophants around him act, it hurts me to my soul. And it's it's so unfair and unjust. It's like that. I need him to die knowing somehow that he did not actually hit in terms of socially. You did not socially hit. You were not charming. You were not funny. You were not fucking cool. Like I need him at some moment to truly know that, We
need that bitch from Lord of the Rings. What was that lady?
Which one?
I've already forgotten. I had a joke about it. Now it was she's the one that kills Joffrey and says, "Tell Cersei it was me."
You said Lord of the Rings.
What I said, man. I'm
you
sorry.
said Lord of the Rings, which me and my sons are watching Lord of the Rings right now. But you meant Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I meant Game of Thrones. Yeah, I just watched.
You meant the Queen of Thorns.
The Queen of Thorns. Yeah.
Lady Tyrell,
who used
played by Diana Rigg. Absolute
who rest in peace.
On and off the screen, absolute G.
Man, my favorite part about, not that we don't have to talk about Game of Thrones, but in my most recent rewatch, because you constantly see things you're like, oh, I didn't look at it that way or whatever. And one of my favorite scenes now is her telling Princess Marjorie how much she used to break a dick off back in the day. It was so awesome, man. God,
yeah, and if you couple that with British old pictures of young Diana Rigg, she way. But so anyway, just because I teed it up and then moved on, the dude at work, the dude at my old job who came in every day, very, very, very bubbly, super high energy and enthusiastic with everybody, right? I used to poop in the same stall, the same bathroom at the same time, multiple times a day, every day, right? Because again,
accidental Bronson tweet.
You're just hiding from
everybody.
Everything, just the world, like you get a moment to yourself. It's a very common thing in the office world, but I would do that every day. And he had a similar routine apparently, because multiple times he would come in, like the stall I always used in the back corner.
Oh, and that's the most depressing stall.
Right. Well, it's also the whole reason I picked this bathroom is because it was the least utilized bathroom in the whole office building. Right.
Of course.
It was the most private, but this guy would come there too, but he wouldn't know that I was in there. And he would come in there and I'd be in the stall and he didn't know that I was in there, and I'd hear him walk. You could hear him like open the door. He's like, "All right, Dave, I'll see you next week. All right, tell Joan I said, hey, all right." About the Vols, like that thing. And then the door would like creak close and he'd be like, "This fucking goddamn place, I swear to God, I'm going to fucking lose my mind." It was like a funnier version of like, was his name Milton from Office Space? Okay, well, I'd burn the building. I'd burn the building down. Burn the building. It was like that, but more like aggressive and hate filled. But he'd come in there and just like cuss to him. So like, I can't keep doing this fucking shit. Like he would say that out loud. And the payoff to it is, and again, I know I've told this story before, but when he finally retired, he retired while I was still there. And when he retired, all the people in his division gave him a retirement gift. And the gift they gave him was a framed photo of the office building that we worked in, like a huge one. And dude, and of course he's like, "Oh my God, it's so incredible." But in my head, I was like, he gonna come in here and kill all y'all fucking over this shit. I was like, y'all have no idea how much he fucking hates that. Like, that is the worst possible thing you could have given this man. Like, we're all lucky to be alive and with him leaving. Like, he don't ever want to come back, think about this place, nothing. He's definitely going to cast that into a fire later or something. But yeah, so it's just, I'm saying that's always like that dude, the toll that clearly was taking on him, right? Like, I just always imagine that's what's happening with all these people, but I don't think it is. Some of them, I think it doesn't bother them at all to like fake that type of shit. It's so easy to them. But I think some people like that guy,
I forgot that's where we were eventually.
It just wears on them over years, I think. And that's why I'm just like, that's not why I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because I can't do it. But but I just don't think it's a good thing. I mean, nobody should be doing that, in my opinion.
I'm only jovial. I mean, Amber gets mad at me all the time because I wear my heart on my sleeve. Like, I am a jovial person when I'm happy, but if I'm in a fucking pissed off mood, you're not getting that guy. You know what I mean?
Just so everybody knows, of course you should be like polite and courteous to people. That's not what I mean at all.
This is going the extra mile to be a billboard of yourself.
Right. Yes. And that I just
and again, if that's your real person, I do know a couple people I can name where I know that's really them. That's really who they are. But more so that, no, it ain't.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Well, you want to take, maybe we should take 2 breaks.
We do need to take 2 breaks.
Quick little break.
Yes.
We'll come back and do something else right after this.
We sure will.
All right, y'all, I want to tell you about one of our sponsors this week, True Classic. We've told you before they hit for us, and they do. I believe I'm wearing some True Classic undies as we speak. Here's why it hits for me. I'm an oddly shaped man. Joe understands what that's like.
Yes.
We're shaped differently, but oddly, the both of us. I've almost never had clothes that fit me properly. It's like if they fit me around the chest properly, then they're like too
droopy,
short, or they're way too big. If whatever, and the arms never look right. It's like I got like long arms and big hands, and
you look like a Woody doll, kind of.
Yeah, I just don't hit. And I've known that for a long time, but I thought I had no options available to me outside of just like doing
tailored
rich people stuff. Yeah. Yes, exactly. But you don't have to do that. True Classics got things that might as well be tailor-made, but for the everyman. They meet in the middle. You get good stuff that fits well for a good price. And at True Classic, their mission goes beyond just the fit and the fabric. It's about helping guys show up with confidence and purpose because their stuff, it fits right, it feels amazing, and it's priced so men everywhere can step into confidence without stepping out of their budget. And what really sets them apart over there, it's not just the fit or the fabric that they use. It's the intention that they have behind everything they do. True Classic was built to make an impact. They help you show up better in your daily life. They also give back to underserved communities. And, they try to make people laugh by hiring idiots like us to take their ads not all that seriously, but they lead with purpose. I've been wearing True Classic for a while. It's like I said, tailored where you want it, relaxed where you need it, which is to say it's like loose in the gut so you don't look too fat, but it's tight in the shoulders and the arms where the hidden parts are, ideally.
Jacked.
They've got it all figured out. They know how a man wants to look, and they know how to shape a shirt to make that happen. They also, their stuff don't bunch up. It's not stiff. It's very, very comfortable. The True Classic jeans I couldn't believe how comfortable those were. Became a go-to pair of jeans for me right out of the gate. So you can forget overpriced designer brands, ditch the disposable fast fashion. True Classic is built for comfort, built to last, built to give back. You can get it at Target, Costco, or our preference, if we must say so ourselves. You can head to trueclassic.com/POA. That's trueclassic.com/POA and get hooked up today.
Are you emotionally scarred from riding the subway and seeing a literal butt sweat print left on the seat? Well, it's time to rethink how we're caring for our swampiest body parts. Get your ass a Tushy bidet. Guys, I've had the Tushy bidet for a while now, and I'm telling you, I ain't going back. I was tweeting about it all last week because, I've told a lot of people this. It's not illegal, just to sit there in the morning and read a book and just give it a blast. You know what I mean? Just to get your day started, because I found that sometimes when you're like, do I need to poop? If you just give it the little, you know what I'm saying? And be like, I do. And then you do, and then you're clean. And as our good friend Kaylin Simon pointed out to us, look, if you got poop on your arm, you wouldn't just wipe it off with a piece of paper. No, bare minimum, you'd spray some water on it. Well, why aren't we doing that with our butts? All right. And Tushy is not only great, not only absolutely dialed in, center cut, but it's affordable. I always thought that I would have to be some rich, warlord or something before I could have water spray up my butt. But no, matter of fact, I'm talking to you right now with a butt full of water. All right. Tushy's wonderful. Trae, tell them more about it.
Tushy is the everyday luxury bidet that instantly transforms your bathroom habits and your butt health for life. There's a bidet for every biohacking personality type. They got the Cloud Plus, which automatically deodorizes the air when you sit down. They've got Aura, which automatically opens the seat when you enter the bathroom.
Yes.
That one. Yeah, absolutely. It makes you feel regal.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, give it to me, my lord. That's what your toilet says as soon as you walk in. I yearn for your waist.
Finish on my face, my lord.
Yes. Tushy's Elevated Bidet Collection nurtures your bottom with instant warm water that never runs cold, a soothing heated seat, and UV sterilization for next level hygiene. All Tushy bidets easily attach to your existing toilet without the need for additional plumbing. It's so easy, even to idiots like me and Cho can do it. Promise. Installation is simple. It takes you about 10 minutes. You can get your butt up and watered quicker than you can say, shee-wee, no more stinky asshole. It's easy to use. You just sit, cleanse, dry using the built-in air dryer as well. Cleaning yourself after using the bathroom is now, thanks to Tushy, completely hands-free. So keep your swampiest body parts fresh and cool for a limited time. Our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use the code POA at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com. That's hello, TUSHY.com, and use the promo code POA. Tushy, make your butt hit. All right.
Do you have another
No, let's keep that in, Burns. Let's start with that.
Sorry.
We're back, everybody. There's probably some people out there in the far-flung corners of the Skewniverse that have been around a long time that still lament the extended absence of Mr. Butt.
Mr. Butt has.
If y'all don't know what we're talking about, that was one of our cohorts in the Skewniverse many years ago on the Well Read podcast, Mr. Butt. Well, he spoke only in farts.
You'll be happy to know, Trae, that. And this is not just a shameless plug to tell everybody that I stream video games and it's a lot of fun and you should come hang out on one. But our fans that do watch my streams, it's not been that long since they've seen Mr. Butt. And I have a funny story I haven't told you. I don't remember doing this because this was before I quit drinking. And those streams, I was fucking, I mean, I still have a good time, but whatever. So my buddy Pumps, who I play with from time to time, last week just happened to mention Mr. Butt or whatever. And I said something like, man, Mr. Butt ain't been here in a while. And he's like, well, last week, like on the stream, I said, oh, I farted. And he said, this is what I did. You see the kind of headphones that the microphone that I have, right?
Yeah.
So I took these off to fart into it and then pulled it back up to my face and then almost puked from the smell because I had just farted into the thing I'm breathing in.
That hurts. It hits even harder that you didn't remember doing it. But I was already going to ask because I was actually going to offer something of an excuse, I guess, that doesn't play now that you've told that story. But I was going to say, like, we used to back in the era of Mr. Butt. Me, you, and Drew were all physically in the same room together on the road. It was audio only, and we had loose microphones that we were holding, so you could very easily put it down here and fart into it. But like me now, I've got it on this boom.
You gotta stand up
in front of it, and like standing up can alter the bass and the sound of the whole thing. It's just harder to do.
I've got
it's impractical.
I got my big old switchboard over here, and I actually do have still a loose mic plugged in, so technically I could fart anytime I want here. I just pull this one over. So I do have a fart mic. This is not good information to give me.
Well, no, I mean, it's fine with me.
I know fart's it for people, but man, I'll abuse it. I can't just have a true dedicated fart mic. At this,
you can't
I'm
be
almost
given
40.
Fart blanche.
Yeah,
nope, can't give the show fart blanche.
No, you can't. Now, because the thing is, I'll justify this. Look, I was only 35. You know what I mean? I'm older now. I'm a father. You know, it's not like I'm a young 35-year-old farting into a
to be fair to you, dude, in the height of the Mr. Butt era, you were like 29 or 30, which is still,
yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, hell, you know what? We ain't got to feel bad about it.
No, you can fart now.
I totally could fart now. You know, we just, maybe not as, like, you got to, when you're our age, it's got to be a banger fart. You know, you can't just pull any random fart out. Like, it's got to be, like a real good one, or a funny moment. Like if you said, like, dude, imagine if you had said like, Joe, have you ever seen Cirque du Soleil in person? And I just had a fart queued up and went, like when you said something pretentious, that would hit.
Yeah, it would hit. But you said you got to make sure it's good and whatever else. But I feel like my butt has like good games and bad games.
Mine does too. Sometimes I'll have a good fart day.
Right. It is a real thing. So I'm saying if you're in the middle of one of those, you can confidently be assured that the fart will hit. And if you're having a bad fart day, then not to test it. That's my stance on it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I remember more good fart days than I do bad fart days, obviously. But dude, I've had some real guys. I'm sitting here talking about, I'm an older man now. I was sitting here trying to look up videos of myself farting on my phone because I do that because it's funny. I sent them to Amber. So, I'll stop.
No, keep doing it always. So what do you,
one thing I want
brewing over there besides farts?
I'm going to talk about John Ford here in a little bit, but before that, I do have two quick stories. Because I don't know where I'm going to fit them in any other conversation. Number one, does the name Hedviga Golik mean anything to you?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
Is that an orc?
No, it sounds like it, don't it? She's from Fiume, the Kingdom of Italy. Okay.
Italy? I would not have thought Italy. I thought you were going to be way further east than that.
She died in Yugoslavia, so I think maybe she was born in Italy like on some war shit, but her family's from Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia sounds way more right.
For sure. Former nurse, originally from Rijeka, lived in Medeskovac neighborhood of Zagreb near Gupseva Seversday. They got too many consonants, man.
Dude, they don't even hardly fuck with vowels at all. They don't. It's wild. Yeah. It's like, to me, you need some vowels, Vowels help a lot, but they don't over there in the potato part of the world. They don't fuck with.
They don't.
With vowels. So Croatia, that you said Zagreb, right? Isn't that Croatia?
Yeah.
At least modern day Croatia. I don't know.
Guess.
That could be wrong.
She resided in a, very modest, I would say, 190 square foot, one room attic apartment. Where she was working at Trenzhivska's Community Health Center, right? Her neighbor has described her neighbor, Katika Karek, described her as a very eccentric, but also prone to mood swings. Some people suggested that she might have been a schizophrenic, but this is not why she's so popular. So in 1966, Trae, Golick prepares a cup of tea for herself, settles down, just going to watch television in her apartment. This is speculation. And at some point in the night, she died, right?
Okay.
So she had told her neighbors that she was about to leave for an indeterminate amount of time. That's important, right? So everybody there was like, well, she's just on vacation. Once she, nobody hears from her for a couple days. Everybody had assumed she's there on vacation. Some people speculated maybe she moved with her relatives in Belgrade or something. And everyone was afraid to enter the apartment because they didn't want to violate the tenancy agreement. I guess that's a way bigger. People have more respect for privacy over there. Anyways, she was found finally 42 years later. 42 years, dog. And my takeaway from that is, like, first off, it makes me very sad for this woman who might have had schizophrenia. But, like, first off, it had to stink. I assume she either owned the apartment or it was
that's what I was about to ask.
Because it's the 60s. She couldn't have had automatic payments. You know what I mean? Like, that wouldn't have happened. But yeah, 42.
Yeah, but if it's 190 square foot apartment, it has to be part of a larger building. And how is it possible nobody notices that for 40-something years?
In 2008, because she died in the 60s, in 2008, the building complex was going to be renovated into condominiums, but all the residents had to agree. And she's the only one that didn't respond to the request in 2008.
Nothing like that ever came up before. So, like, requests from, renovated by who? Do you know what I mean? Like, so whoever was renovating that building and had to request permission from the tenants, like, they didn't care that she clearly didn't make a payment for 40-something years?
She did, though. The bill was regularly paid by the original architect of the building, who also resided in Zagreb, where she was from, I guess. And
what, like, accidentally?
No,
like he was paying for it?
It doesn't say here, but the only thing I can think of is, like, maybe he was a rich dude and she was family, or he wouldn't have been family because then he would have known if she died. He was just, maybe he took pity on her, because she had been through the Yugoslavian wars, and, like, this is clearly a teeny tiny place, and maybe he's like, hey, her bill's on me or whatever. I don't know. That's where it drops off. Like, that's just all they're saying. But this is a real thing. 42 goddamn years. Man, nobody checked. Like, nobody thought. That just, it breaks my heart. I mean, I wanted to make, like, a joke about it at first, but it's like, it breaks my heart to think about a person who they could be gone for 42 years and not a single soul knows or gives a fuck, Like, that's pitiful.
Yeah, that's fucking grim. I mean, again, it's like, to me, yes, A, that's all true, what you just said, but B, beyond that, it's like, it beggars belief. Obviously, it happened. I do believe it, but it's like
she had to owe somebody else
money.
Like,
how does that happen? Like, ever?
Dude, that would never happen here, it feels like, because I feel like our landlord culture here, right. Like, no one would have seen that. Like it could be possible that, like, the original landlord died and someone took it over and then it just fell through the crack. I don't know, but, like, over here,
right, but do you never, whoever that is, whoever the landlord or super, whatever the proper word is, whoever that is, like, they don't ever, like, just do rounds or
right.
Do you really think they're never at any point like,
never wondered why you never fixed a turlet in 42 goddamn years,
right? Or seen anyone ever come into or out of there, or, like, her? I don't know. That's crazy.
Y'all, this weekend, WWE runs it back with Saturday night's main event and Evolution, and MyBookie has odds on every match. That's right, baby. You can bet on Pro Wrasslin. Gunther is a heavy favorite over Goldberg. I don't know if you know about Gunther, Trae, but he's sort of a former fat kid. like ourselves who's made good. I mean, he's still thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. But, yeah, Gunther's going up against Goldberg, who we've talked a lot about on this show, the old stalwart. Yeah, either way. But, stranger things have happened. You got Rollins versus L.A. Knight. The crowd really loves Knight. He's sort of over right now, but he's still a plus 350 underdog with Seth being positioned as the main guy for WWE, and as I think he should be. He's awesome. Jordan Grace, that's our girl, dude. She actually listens to the show. She's looking to shock JC Jane for the NXT title. And if you've been watching, you already know where the value's hiding. At MyBookie, you're not just betting winners, you're betting entrances, turns, shock wins, and getting paid when you read the story right. Sign up with code POA, and we'll get you, we'll back you on your first deposit. $100 gets you $50 extra. $200 gets you a Benjamin. What you do with it is up to you. 2 shows, 1 weekend, bet smart, cash in, only at MyBookie. Code POA. Skeep.
You. Y'all, summer is here. Shoo-wee, is it ever burning up out here on the West Coast? And most of this country, I think, is a little bit heated this here July. More sun, more light, more time to do all the things that make summer so special. But the number one thing you don't want to be doing all summer is being inside cooking over a hot stove. That's for mammas, not you. You got stuff to do. Out here in the sunlight, go to the beach, go to the lake, do that type of stuff. You ain't got to be in there cooking beans all day. And that's where Factor comes in. Factor's chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals are ready in just 2 minutes, and they take the hassle out of eating well. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any active lifestyle over the summer and beyond. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your summer gains and goals. Choose from options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Factor powers your day sun up to sundown with nutritious breakfast, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, guilt-free snacks, and desserts. Factor has your whole day covered. So enjoy more this summer. Get Factor if you want all the flavor and none of the fuss. Cho, Factor hits for you.
Absolutely love it. Matter of fact, just yesterday I had me a jalapeno chicken Factor meal, and it's awesome. And not just, in my opinion, because it's easy, it's quick, and it's delicious, but like I have a child, and so and I know a lot of people that listen to the show have a child. I do like cooking. I really am a fan of it, and then because of that, I thought, I don't know if this is going to hit for me, but like, dude, being able to just go in there, heat and eat, and it be good. It not be like some of them TV dinners that our dad used to just slam down while watching whatever it is that they watch. It's so much better and easier, and it prevents me from eating terrible things like an entire bag of potato chips when I've got him crawling on my leg. It's fantastic. They've got so many things, like you want to do Calorie Smart, like Trae said, go ahead, Protein Plus, all that stuff. It's great. I cannot recommend it enough, not just for how good it is, but like I said, the time it is saving you. Get started at factormeals.com/POA50 off and use code POA50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code POA50 off at factormeals.com/POA50 off for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/POA50 off. It hits.
It does.
And then this other story I wanted to tell, which sort of segues into my overall thing about today we're talking about John Ford. I'm talking about I'm doing a big series, if you didn't listen last week, about the war and how it was reported through like correspondence and stuff, but also Hollywood's role in it and how that sort of worked. But here I was listening to a lot of the reason I even love John Ford as much as I do is from hearing You Must Remember This. And similar, which took me to this place and took me to this place and took me to this place. And I was listening today to this old episode that I've listened to, but I totally forgot about this when it was about Errol Flynn, right? So when John Barrymore, as you know, is like the grandfather to Drew or whatever, and he was the silent star fucking Brad Pitt. Like he was the biggest dude in the goddamn game, but also legendary fucking drunk, just lunatic drunk. Bro, He died, dropped dead, while they were like all filming Casablanca or something, or just got back. And Errol Flynn, like this was his hero. Like he wanted to be the next John Barrymore. So this motherfucker dies, right? And 2 nights after he dies, before their funeral, Humphrey Bogart and another actor, I can't remember who they said, went and gave the mortuary, mortician, $200 so that they could borrow his body. They took his body. They went to Errol Flynn's where they knew he wasn't because he was going to be coming back from set late. They propped John Barrymore up in a seat just at the table, all hid. Errol Flynn walks in and sees his fucking dead hero sitting at his table, and his only response was, "Ha! All right, you pricks can come out now."
I respect that because it's
I
like
do too, but
you have to. I mean, it's either that or like thinking it's a ghost.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
You know, like. So I'm saying that says to me that Errol Flynn was pretty quick on the draw.
Absolutely,
because also this is far before
noted rapist.
Punked. Okay.
Yeah, Punk. Hey, he said
of course
he didn't do
is.
it. He said he didn't do it.
I did not know that. But
Yeah.
it was just years, eons, relatively speaking, before Punked or it's just a prank, bro. It's just a prank, bro.
Also,
wasn't a thing yet
also,
100 years ago. So
hold on. Even in the era of Punked, if you did this,
yeah,
he just died, and it was their buddy.
Well, but the thing about that though is it's like only in this pre-punked era were people able to like. That was an era of such abject lunacy, where of course you were able to do that type of thing. You could rent your buddy's corpse to hit,
just scare a friend who was grieving.
Yeah, but it was before like YouTube and fucking Ashton Kutcher and MTV and all that. So it's like, it's wild to think. I mean, well, we just talked about this last week, but if like the general standards and mores and everything, norms of that time, like were applied to this era with technology and the internet and all that shit, like, you think it's wild on Instagram now. You know what I mean? Like, fucking, and of course, it's also been said a lot. Part of the reason why they were able to be so fucking insane back then was because
there was none of that
kept private. Yes. Right. It wasn't aired for everyone to know about and see. The fact everyone living much more public lives is part of what led to famous lunatics chilling the fuck out a little bit. So maybe it's an impossibility to mix those two times together.
I agree. Like, but have you seen the movie Babylon by chance?
Yeah. Yes.
So I like it. Yeah. I mean,
I liked it too. I thought it was, it was like, it was a lot.
Yeah,
sure.
But to me, that's part of the
point.
That's part of the point. It was a time of excess.
Yes. Right. That's definitely true. That is definitely part of the point. I mean,
I like sometimes for a movie to just be like, fuck it, it's a movie, because and also movies that were actually made around that time, so many of them are like that. Like a lot of Liza Minnelli, David Minnelli was her dad, I think. A ton of his movies, like Meet Me in St. Louis, like they're all a lot. There's so much color. There's dancing. There's singing. So like, I went into it. My brain was already in that period. I love fucking. I don't think it's as bad as fucking people say. I can tell you that much. Anyways,
no, I liked it too. Is it generally revised? I thought it was like a mixed reviews type thing.
The reason that I haven't seen it till now is, number one, it's over 3 hours. And like when something's over 3 hours, I kind of do need the critics to say it's good. You know what I mean? Before I invest the time. But I got that MetaQuest thing. And so I wanted to watch an opulent thing, on it. And it was fairly mixed. Anyways, the point I was trying to make was about celebrities back then during this era. Like, it really did just be like that, and like at the beginning of Babylon, like the first thing you see is the big old fat producer dude getting pissed on by a lady, and the lady ends up, sorry, spoilers everybody, the lady ends up ODing, and the way that they sneak her out without Hedda Hopper, real person, seeing is that they walk the fucking elephant through the living room to make a distraction. And Amber was like, okay, yeah, this is a bit much. I was like, dude, that is exactly how they would have done that shit. Like fucking Josh Brolin's character from Hail Caesar, he would have cooked that up in a second, son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they was wild.
So they were
wild.
One of the dudes who was wild in a completely different way. He definitely wouldn't be. I don't think John Ford would ever be at one of these parties. He was sort of a rough, gruff dude. You're familiar with Ford, correct?
Yeah, he did a bunch of westerns and shit, right?
Yeah, he basically made John Wayne's career.
Yeah.
I mean, John Wayne ended up doing other things, but Stagecoach with John Ford was his debut, and then he sort of got in that. All of them used to have Tarantino has a routine or a cast of people that he uses a lot, and obviously the Coens do too. Back then, that was how it all fucking worked. Like there was just this like rat packs everywhere. You know what I mean? So
because also didn't even contracts and shit?
The studio had company had everybody. You couldn't go work somewhere else.
So they they each just had their like stable of people that they basically owned.
They would loan them out from time to time, like they would do a swap, which I'm certain that there are people that are under a Disney contract or whatever, but like even when he was under the Disney contract, Bautista was still doing stuff for not Disney. You know what I mean? But back then it was basically unheard of unless like this other company, like one of them's got Errol Flynn and one of them's got Humphrey Bogart, and each one of them has a role for the opposite. They would go, well, this is a fair trade. We'll trade you off, whatever the fuck. Actually, and also the reason it was heavy back then is they had 7-year contracts and what they would do was they would go, you have a 7-year contract, but they only counted like the actual time you spent working in the years. Like they didn't do it with the calendar year. So like, they would give you penalties. Like if you were late to a set several times, and they would like take months off of it. You know what I mean? And the reason that there's the de Havilland Act now, which prevents movie companies from doing that, is called the de Havilland Act, because they just kept penalizing her and basically turned her 7-year contract into like 14 years somehow, So
Ford, they did a bunch of fucked up shit back then.
Dude, it's crazy.
I mean, hell, in that time, fucking fake snow in movies was asbestos.
Yeah.
And like child actors were like given cigarettes so they don't get fat. Cigarettes and speed. I mean, you take a 12-year-old, be like, take these pills and smoke a pack a day.
Yeah, I mean, dude, God bless Judy Garland's heart. Holy shit, dog. Like, fuck. You think these toddler and tiara moms are bad? And they are. Don't get me fucking wrong, but they ain't got shit on a goddamn Depression era stage mom, because like they would. You talk about here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Every one of them bitches was like that. Anyways, John Ford is actually born John Martin Feeney in Cape Elizabeth, Maine, to obviously Irish Catholic immigrants. His dad was a salon keeper and failed politician. Ford would actually end up going on to make a couple political things. Now that I think about it, his mama was just a devout Christian lady, I guess. I'd say Irish Catholic immigrants. The woman's not going to work. I mean, this is fucking 1894. Grew up in Portland, Maine, which we've been to. Absolute postcard of a place. Amazing. He played football, but in school he starts, fucking around with history, poetry, storytelling. He loved Shakespeare. Terrible student, as all creative people are. Went to the University of Maine. Yada, yada. His brother ends up brother changed his name to Ford because he thought that was a tougher name than Francis Feeney, and he ends up being the first Francis Ford in Hollywood, I guess. Actor, director. He sort of follows his brother out there, but he wasn't like outgoing like his brother. So he just kind of like the script work, camera operating. He did some stunt work. He did some acting, but it wasn't really his like big deal. But he did appear in like several silent films as like a cowboy, and also, quite a bit in blackface, as you do. But don't worry, it's not all bad. He played a Klansman in The Birth of the Nation.
Oh, damn, really? All right.
Yeah. Which was 1915, dude.
I know.
Crazy.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, because I thought, Ford. I'm thinking Ford, John Wayne. I'm thinking 40s, 50s, stuff like that. Yeah. So I didn't realize he was already active in Hollywood in fucking 1915.
Yeah. John was like, I don't know who a good comp would be, but like he was definitely already Clint Eastwood type whenever John Wayne got involved. Well, not really. His Stagecoach, he wasn't. He'd just been around a lot, is all I'm saying. He was definitely a grizzled vet, regardless of how many movies he'd directed, know. So, I think Clint Eastwood's a good comp. He did a bunch of other shit, and then he started directing, got older and hit. Yeah. Let's see, I just got I just got messed up. Sorry. Oh yeah. So he was in a bunch of those silent films, which those silent films too, talk about having like a troop of people. You know what I mean? Them motherfuckers, sometimes in the early days, they would film in like one day because they were all really short. You just go watch them at the Nickelodeon or whatever. Dude, they just fucking shoot a film in front of a set, break for lunch, change the set, put on different outfits, and just run it again. And then, because with those things, you can just film a bunch of movement. The person who really made the silent movie was whoever was writing the title cards. You know what I mean? Like, you see all these people doing this stuff, but the person writing the title card has to tell you either what they said, what the tone is, whatever. And if you got a really good one of those, you can just sort of rehash some stuff. He was a very punctual guy. He was like military. He handled directing very militarily. He was a be on time, super efficient dude.
That's also how Clint Eastwood is. I've always heard.
He did no extra takes was his thing. If you do it and he liked it, fuck you, move on. And
that's also how Clint Eastwood is.
Yeah. I guess it was a good comp. Huh?
Maybe Clint Eastwood is like, well, Clint Eastwood was obviously a megastar as an actor, but I don't think it's a stretch at all considering Eastwood's background in westerns and stuff. He probably idolized John
I guarantee
Ford.
You, dude.
So
there's no way.
A lot of that is probably not a coincidence at all.
Probably
That's
true.
probably by design on each. He probably modeled his director philosophy.
There's almost no way he
John
didn't.
Ford, right? Yeah,
because as I'll get into,
I've always respected the shit out of that. By the way, because I think so many creative people get so obviously
his
David
movies
Fincher
rip.
makes shit. I was about to say David Fincher makes shit that hits so hard. Stanley Kubrick did too, but I've just part of me, just as a person, always when you hear their whole. Just how meticulous they are. Part of me has always been like, okay, bro,
just
I can chill out a little bit. Yeah. And like the way, like you said, Clint Eastwood made some absolute bangers, and he just don't fuck with none of that. Like, he just, like you say, he doesn't do extra takes. He doesn't, like Matt Damon tells a story about Invictus or something like that, where they did like one take, and he was like, Clint, all right, so for this next one we go, and he was like, I think we got it. It's fine. Yeah. They say he don't even say action. He's like, they said he sits, everything gets set up, and he goes, "We'll go ahead."
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Do it. I'm here doing my job. You do your fucking job, dude. Yeah. I know he never will. I say that. There's a lot of people that do it that I wouldn't think would, but if Matt Damon had a podcast where he just told old Hollywood stories to other Hollywood people, and they did it round table like. There's 0% chance that that's not my number one new favorite podcast and or best podcast of all time. Because like, I love hearing dudes tell Hollywood stories. No one does it as good as him, man. He's a fucking master of it.
Damon's great. I'm sure you've heard him tell the story of
Jack Nicholson and The Departed. But if you keep the camera,
yeah, you could stop it there. God, but if you keep, and he says that like 8 different times.
Yeah, and that was also the first time too. Like when he mentioned. When Jack said, like, the reason I've had such a long career is because I'm such a good writer, but not having Nicholson never being like credited as like Jack Nicholson wrote this. It never even crossed my mind. Like the first time I heard it, I was like, you're right. Like, of course, there are some actors that are better because they're great writers because that's what improv is. They're coming up with their own. It's fucking writing. He just says it out of his mouth. Amazing stuff. So in the and I was going to say regarding Clint Eastwood, like. John Ford, like, and there's more of this later, but while we're already here, like, everything we've ever seen, me, you, my dad, down the line of Westerns in Hollywood, even current Westerns now, like, literally all look the way they look because of John Ford. Like, because the actual, in the John Ford movies, we look at those big red mountains and stuff like that, and we're like, that's the fucking West. But that was actually, what was the place called? It was in Utah or some shit. Monument Valley or whatever. Like he just decided that's the shit right there. Like that is amazing. So he shot like all his movies there, even movies that took place in different spots. You still had the same fucking background because, it just looks so fucking great. So in the 20s and 30s, he does his, I think his first feature, is Iron Horse. He did, then in the 40s is when he gets into this whole Western thing. 39, Stagecoach. Some people say it's the best Western of all time. To me, it's Tombstone. But, whatever. Stagecoach, that is really where it all started to take shape. He introduced John Wayne. John Wayne's a major star. And I don't have this in here, but I'm pretty sure that the reason that John Wayne even got that role is like he was an extra or something, and him and John Ford had been just like talking about football and how hard it hits for them. And then the actor goes down and they need somebody, and he just said, fucking, I don't think he was called Duke then. He's like, Duke will do it. And so he just did. And like, it basically, if he'd never just talked to John Ford about football, frankly, man,
or if whoever that other actor was never twisted his ankle or whatever the hell
we
happened.
never get John Wayne.
Yeah.
It's butterfly.
Those stories like that are so wild. It's like that used to seem, it seems like that's outside of nepotism. It's like that's just how it used to work. There's always some story of just something like that where someone, a window rolls down and you get pointed at. Fucking you.
That did happen to Jennifer Lawrence, didn't it?
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say the only modern day example of that I'm aware of is that essentially happened to Jennifer Lawrence. She's from Kentucky, and she was on a school trip in New York City, and it was a modeling agent or whatever, but like they were at a museum on their school trip, and some agent saw her and approached her and was like, hey, you should do this. And then she did, and then that led to other shit, and then off to the races from there. That also happened to Topher Grace, kind of.
Yeah.
I've told that story. He was in
Ashton Kutcher.
He was in a high school. Yeah, Ashton Kutcher too. Also modeling to begin with. Ashton Kutcher Topher Grace was in a high school play in Connecticut, a fucking high school play in Connecticut. But some big Hollywood producer had a niece that also went to that school, and he was in town visiting family, and he went to his niece's high school play, and Topher Grace was in it, and he was like, hey, there's a pilot you should audition for, and it was fucking that 70s show, and he got it. Yeah. This shit is just so fucking crazy. Also, I bet that guy's niece was like, the fuck, bro? Yeah.
Dude, this don't really hit to think about, and it's in a dumber way, but that kind of happens a lot now just because, like, Haley Welch just made $500 million because she just happened to be walking down the street and some dude asked her about sucking a dick. You know what I mean?
Right. You're right.
That's kind of exactly how it works now.
No, you're right. That's true.
It's just that you're putting yourself out there, so it's more on purpose instead of you're just standing somewhere. But again, with Haley Welch,
like that, it was definitely not on purpose.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it still does happen by accident, like a lot. Like, somebody don't know they're being filmed and something happened. Like, obviously, me and you, like, when we put stuff out, it is in pursuit of hitting, But like them accidents, they happen. And a lot of times though with them, they go away real quick because it's like, oh yeah, they didn't actually have anything. I just looked at them and thought they would, But back then there was a ton of people that it just straight up. Back then though, not a lot of great movies made back then. A lot of great movies made back then. But when they switched from stage to movies, there was such a learning curve that I felt like some stinkers could get through. You know what I mean? I feel like back then more than now, it was like, if you're the hottest woman on planet, we'll just pretend you hit at acting. And like, it definitely still happens now, but movies have gotten so good and acting is elevated so much that like Gal Gadot sticks out like a fucking sore thumb. You know what I mean? But back in the 30s,
there was a lot of them.
Yeah, and sometimes they were speaking a different language, so you didn't fucking know if they were doing good or not. Whatever. Ford obviously became synonymous with basically the entire Western genre, but also like anything tragic. He made shit that was like super fucked up. But he joined the Naval Reserve in 1934 because he was anticipating war and he saw himself as a patriot, and he was about that life. And this was the reason I wanted to do Wayne first and then him, because they're both huge war dudes, except for Ford, backed it up.
The walk.
Walked the walk. I mean, he went in 34, dude. Like, that is a long time before we were A, in, but B, even, like a lot of people, it didn't even pump him up until Pearl Harbor. But like,
of course. Dude. Yeah,
I mean, that
massively
that
divided
was the
sentiment before that. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah,
like everybody was like, sure, the Nazis
for him to be
hit,
like,
but they haven't done nothing to us.
Right. Yeah, but in 34, he was like, something don't hit. Yeah,
something don't hit. He's Irish.
He's fucking Germans are up to something. I can fucking tell. I just know it.
Don't know it. Yeah. And so he joined. He was obviously already someone that had made movies or whatever, and so they wanted him. They're like, "Hey, we want to use your talent over here." So he was going to be
propaganda.
He was going to be the propagandist, which, like, it's funny because propaganda has sort of like, it only means a bad thing now. Like when you, that's just propaganda. You only mean like that means it's bad or whatever. But it's
hell, brother, I make propaganda.
I know. But I'm saying if the thing is righteous, it's not a bad thing. Like it's fine to even say that it is. Like,
I don't feel bad about it.
I have an opinion. This is my right.
Yeah, right.
But now it's like everything, any type of propaganda. People are like, I'm against all propaganda, and I'm like, okay. Then something will come on that's propaganda that hits for them, you know. And I'm like, yeah, that's propaganda. Every political, there's not a genre of political commercial that is propaganda. It is propaganda. That is what that is, right? And yeah, I would say, especially since the country was divided, and we needed to be in that war so that Hitler didn't hit. I'm agreeing with that propaganda. Fucking have Daffy Duck tell him, give him what for. You know what I mean? I don't get, now, when you look back on some of them, it's a bit, tasteless. But,
I'm sure.
But as I've said, if you're making all these stereotypical Japanese jokes now, you're a dickhead. If you did them in 1939, I hear you. You know what I mean? What are you going to do? Because I see people all the time talking, I can't believe Looney Tunes made the Japanese people look like this. I'm like, I think they did them justice for what people felt about them during that time.
It's not just what people felt about them. I mean, again, the caricatures and whatever are like wild.
It's bad,
but as we've said many times before, Japan was on some serious bullshit at that point in time. And again, they've always flown somewhat under the radar as compared to the Nazis, because the Nazis were really going for the gold in terms of crimes against humanity. But Japan also was like, I mean,
dude,
they wasn't acting right.
No, they weren't acting right, and they got
and it's like the thing always. It's again making it purely racial or whatever. No, but it's like I'm not allowed to call, like, for example, like Marsha Blackburn a dumb bitch,
right?
You know, because she's a woman or whatever. It's like, no, she's a dumb bitch.
Right. She's the one you should want to be called that,
right? So like, and
that's why the word hits is we're not supposed to say it unless they are.
Right, like the way Japan was acting at that point in time, it's like, and they deserved all the shit talk that came their way.
They did, and what was the shit talk? They just shortened the name of their country. I mean, it's not even that bad of a slur. You know,
it's like, dude, when you know, like, I don't get mad when people like talk shit about the Confederacy or whatever. I'm like,
because I didn't do that.
Yeah, you know, yes, I didn't do that, but also it's like, we are not done all that.
No, we wasn't acting right. We was not acting right at all.
No, not at all.
But dude, yeah, he oversaw a team of filmmakers and technicians and stuff who would just, they would show battles and stuff. He actually personally fucking filmed D-Day. So like, we've kind of got him to thank for Saving Private Ryan, of knowing exactly how that looked and like everything going on. He was wounded a couple of times, but like, just was like, nah, I'm staying. Like, fuck that. He likes making movies, and B, genuinely patriotic guy, like, wanted to be there. Matter of fact, he would piss FDR off like heavy. This isn't in my notes. I just remember this from something else. So he would shoot the war, and even though it was propaganda, he still like wanted to shoot it the way he wanted to shoot it, right? And if that meant showing absolute death, destruction, tragedy, whatever, because Ford was patriotic and pro us being in the war, but he wasn't pro just war. You know what I mean? He wasn't like, all war is good, I loved it. Like, he specifically wanted to show how horrible it was. And FDR had to come in and then like suggest cuts, because he's like, bro, we're using this to like get people to go to war. And there was one that John Ford just straight up said, you ain't cutting fucking shit out of this. And so they just didn't show it. And it's like, not Mount Rushmore, but it's the white whale of a lot of like 35 millimeter people, is that is somewhere. It's somewhere in the U.S. archives, but FDR lost it or whatever. And like, people have said like, look, if we ain't found it by now, we're not going to. But like, there is footage that John Ford shot in World War II that FDR said, let us just make some cuts. And he said, fuck you. And they just didn't put the whole thing out, which is awesome. He was awarded the Purple Heart. Like I said, he got shrapnel from a Japanese bombing raid. He also got the Medal of Merit. And his wartime films that he made, it was Battle of Midway, December 7th, and they were expendable. December 7th won him an Oscar. Matter of fact, I think I think I said it last week. He's the only director to ever win 4 Oscars, and he didn't go to none of the ceremonies. After the war, he goes back to do westerns where he did. Have you ever heard of like the Calvary trilogy?
I don't think so. Unless what's the name of the individual movies?
It's Fort Apache, She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, and Rio Grande, which is my personal favorite John.
Okay, yeah,
John
I've not seen them, but yes, I know those individual movies. I didn't know they were called the Calvary trilogy.
Yeah, it was. Which Clint Eastwood ended up doing Fistful of Dollars and all them, like to have his own personal trilogy. He did The Quiet Man, which was a romantic comedy shot in Ireland. That won him his 4th Best Director Oscar. Then The Searchers, which I don't know if you've seen The Searchers, but it's fucking awesome. And it's Scorsese, Spielberg, and like all the dudes like were obsessed with this particular, John Ford movies. Anyways, he was also an insane drunk. He was one of the, aside from, we said, I think directors should do this, like be, one take, whatever. He did also have some of those characteristics of directors that we also hate, in that he would constantly like just be a real life dickhead to actors if he needed them to be upset or whatever, like scream at people, constantly trying to get them very uncomfortable if he needed something, instead of just letting them act or whatever. He didn't like talking about movies. This is another thing where he's sort of Clint Eastwood in a way. He never, anytime a critic was talking to him or a reporter or whatever, and he would refuse to talk about his movies, and he would say, "It's just a job. I'm just doing my job." Like that was his attitude, like as non up his ass as he could be. But he used to, like, back when he was drinking, he would like be drunk and just leave the set for like 7 days and the producers having no idea what was going on. And then he'd get back and in 2 somehow make it back on schedule, poop out a masterpiece. He's just one, like, I can't conceive of how a person could do that. Like if I'm working on a big old thing, I have to be 100% or it's right. I'm nervous about stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't just, I don't know. Maybe if I was,
he just had it like that, I guess.
Maybe if I was like, and I'm not suggesting Sandler does this, but maybe if I was current Adam Sandler and it's like, look, I just make my couple movies a year on the beach, I could understand maybe if he didn't take one serious and fucked off and got drunk and thought maybe he could do Grown Ups 4 hungover. Sure. But this guy's doing the goddamn Searchers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, I know you said you're not suggesting Sandler does that, but by all accounts, Sandler is deeply involved with all of those movies.
I know he is. Yeah. I'm just saying I could understand.
He's the star, but he's also very actively, creatively involved.
I didn't mean to suggest that he's like that. I'm saying that like he's the type of person where I could be like, he could afford to, and things would be fine if he did for a second. You know. He once punched a studio executive in the face for trying to just edit The Grapes of Wrath, which he had done. Wayne called him the meanest son of a bitch he ever met, but also the best director he ever worked with. He also he would rehearse scenes with actors and stuff, and he would speak entirely in Irish brogue, which I don't even know which what language. I guess it's like a Celtic type language.
No, if it says Irish brogue, that just I'm pretty sure that just means an Irish accent.
Super Irish accent.
It's like a Scottish brogue is just a Scottish accent.
Yeah,
I mean, there is an Irish language, but I'm pretty sure brogue just means he would adapt an Irish accent.
Oh, no, that is 100% true. I'm just a fucking idiot. But nobody could understand him, so they didn't know where their lines were going to be, but also nobody would correct him because they thought that he was insane and would kill them.
Why did he do that?
Don't know. But
look, far be it for me. I do that all the time, just talking random accents, but not in that context.
He also wore an eye patch, even though he really didn't need it. Like he just, I think he had a bird. He would, the Fablemans. That's who David Lynch plays at the end. That's John Ford. Okay. So eye patch, that kind of gruff dude. But they would walk in on him every now and then just sobbing, and they'd be like, "What's wrong?" And he was just reading a poem. So, the man had layers. Like I said, he tried to fight in the war, but they, put him with a camera. He would also I guess he read Homer front to back on like every set or something. He was just that dude. He once directed a scene while drunk, asleep, and still got it in one take. That's what the sentence says. I don't know how that works. That's what the sentence says.
I mean, that sounds to me like the crew and cast just did a scene while he was passed out in the director's chair, and and they got it.
I mean, yeah, that kind of I agree. He also, there were several times where these army dudes tried to get him to stop recording because they were under enemy fire and they couldn't protect him, and he just told them to suck his dick, and he just kept doing it. I don't know. He also verbally abused Henry Fonda to the point that Fonda like never forgave him, which every other actor that this seems to have happened, they moved on. I guess Fonda, was Henry Fonda a bitch?
I don't know.
I don't know much about him. I know a lot about James.
Yeah, I don't know much about him either.
He also, he made John Wayne cry on set multiple times, which I mean, dude, I know John Wayne's a pussy, but I didn't know he could show people that because he's the version of the lady at the store we were talking about, but with being a man. You know what I mean? Where they have to wake up.
That's exactly right.
It's so goddamn, and that's worse, frankly. I'd rather see the woman.
So much worse.
Orson Welles also basically got a camera blocking class from this dude at one point during his Wunderkind times. When he wasn't drinking, he would drink 40 cups of tea a day, I guess, which is insane. He also that he wouldn't like they would have they were trying to get him to like fuck with bald eagles for because they were in a shot or whatever. And he would just shut down production for a week if needed to be to protect bald eagles, which is a little bit on the nose. You know what I mean? But I like it. But he could have been a dickhead. But he ended up dying of stomach cancer on account of he drank. He got a Navy escort at the funeral, all that type of stuff. His drinking, though, man, like he really, really fucking went in. Like his entire family were alcoholics, and like so funny. Like I feel like we don't have the type of drunks they used to have. You know what I mean? And maybe we do, but like the way that alcoholics are talked about and portrayed in the 20s is so much worse than the alcoholics I know. You know what I mean?
What do you mean by worse? Because I actually thought you were going a different direction with it. I thought you were going to be like like these highly functional alcohol. Like back then, I feel like every major star and everybody was a fucking horrible alcoholic, but they still hit real hard. And
they were functioning.
And today, I'm sure many of them are, and we just don't know it. But like today, it doesn't seem like you know what
it is. They just look. They look better in the movies and more. And like you'd see back in the day, it was like a dude in the 20s. He was an alcoholic. They'd always show him like he gets fired from the dock, and he goes to the bar and he's covered in fucking soot and grease. And he would sit there and drink and maybe keep his ears out for, anyone that's got some sort of criminal activity that maybe he could jump in because he just lost his job. Then he'd go home and he would try to hold it together, and his wife would just be like, "Oh, we only had 2 chicken breasts," and he'd just take out a wrench and beat the fuck out of her for like 5 hours. And then his buddies would finally catch up to him, and he's wearing suspenders and a white shirt rolled up, and he's got the newsboy cap on, and he's like, I ain't been right since Ma died, and just so fucking tragic. And now it's just like some fat fuck in a basement getting DoorDash, Like they used to have character back then, is what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going back and forth on it because again, I just feel like I know it was more accepted, but I feel like it was more like glamorized, maybe.
Yeah.
Back then, because so many high-level glamorous people were drunks, and it was just a thing, and it was just fine. Like it was definitely more acceptable back. Well, I don't know. That was the era. Well, not by the 40s, but the temperance movement led to prohibition.
Yeah.
Like obviously people reached a point where they're like, God, this shit is ruining this country. And they made it illegal, which was a bitch move, by the way.
Big time.
Or not ever done that. But so, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Like in my head, it's like it was way more widespread and commonplace and okay back then.
Yeah.
But But I don't know. Again, it led to like literally laws being made and people being like, we got to get this under control. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know this. Like, you can't like Henry Cavill or whatever. He can't just drink nothing but whiskey on the set of the next movie he does or whatever, and and have it not be a problem.
Yeah.
Whereas back then, Humphrey Bogart, he did that all the time.
Yeah, but now, I think maybe it's just that we have more drug addicts than they had. Like, we have more pharmaceuticals and, like, acid and shit like that. So usually when we see people that are way fucking out there, they're not just a drunk. They're on psychotics. You know what I mean? And back then, like, all they had was whiskey. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? It just seemed like a romantic time to be a drunk. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. No, I agree with that. I thought you were... For a minute, I thought you were saying the opposite of that. I don't know. So, but yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, they were definitely romanticized more back then. I feel like, whereas today, it's just sad.
it's very sad. But anyways, so there's John Ford, who, like I said, about him and John Wayne, both had an affinity for the war and America and all that stuff. True, and I guess they bonded over it. However, John Wayne ain't do shit, and John Ford fucking filmed D-Day, so he hits harder if we're gonna
absolutely
rank them. You know what I mean? Also,
baby.
One last thing: when he finally stopped drinking before he died, he replaced booze with buttermilk and just drank like gallons of it a day.
My God, what?
I know.
How the fuck do you land on that?
They barely had refrigerators too. Like, that's the worst buttermilk.
That's the wildest thing you've said about that motherfucker this whole time. God damn. It's like my old coworkers used to say to me, it's like, are you just trying to not hit? Good Lord.
I mean,
it's like, I got to stop getting drunk, but I would still like to be very sick at my stomach all the time if I could be.
I love buttermilk. I do. I love buttermilk. Like, cornbread and buttermilk is a premium snack for me, but I'm not drinking a whole fucking glass of it.
No, that's crazy.
A whole glass or a pitcher or whatever he was drinking. Like, I could have a shot. I like it, but like, dog, do you know? Have you ever heard of other drinks? Have you heard of those?
Yeah, but dude, people back in the day, they did fuck with buttermilk. One of my mama's or my great grandma used to keep buttermilk, and she wouldn't drink a whole. But
my granny drank the shit out of it.
Yeah, mine too. And it's like I appreciate many things that buttermilk is involved in.
Yeah,
you
never just had it with like cornbread.
I mean, I love cornbread and milk, but regular milk, not buttermilk.
Yeah. Oh, I like it with regular milk better, for sure.
I just don't. I don't regular just buttermilk by itself, or even just like alone, but with cornbread. I just can't fuck with that. But as a marinade for fried chicken, as a basis for ranch dressing, as in making biscuits, like there's plenty of great uses for buttermilk that I appreciate.
Buttermilk with soup. And also, I've found, here's a little fancy tip for everybody out there. A lot of people, they're crazy, but they're just like, oh, pastas, it don't keep good. And I'm like, I hear you that it's not as good the next day, but it do keep good. Like, if you...
No. Also, I disagree with what you just said. To me, pasta and soup is one of the things that's better the next day.
Pasta? Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, like, to me, it's like you're not going to get that al dente back or whatever. You know what I mean?
No, but the sauce and the flavor.
Yes,
it's one of those things. It's like,
I agree.
When the flavors have time to meld together and then you reheat it, it actually hits harder the next day. It's one of the things that hits harder the next day, in my opinion.
I agree. The literal only, because that's why I think people are crazy when they say that. But like, to me, the only time I'm ever upset if it's leftover pasta is if, like, they were the farfalle noodles that I had, like, when I made them, they were so perfectly al dente. And then, like, when I reheat them, they're going to lose a little bit about that. But taste-wise, holy fuck. My point is, a lot of people they throw it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and that's all they do to it. Put it in the fucking pan, all right? Put it in the pan with some butter, and I found a little buttermilk that will just sort of make the sauce that has dried up re-sauce again. And the butter, like putting cream in it's obviously good, like having something that thick because it helps with the sauce, but the buttermilk tang actually adds to the pasta because it gives it a little bite of acidity. You know what I mean? So that's why I think you should have buttermilk around. If you cook pasta a lot, it's a great way to reconstitute it. And yes, that can hit even like you said, even harder the next day. Go with some ad mail. Our buddy Justin, what's up, y'all? Just listened to the new episode of POA. I was laughing my ass off when you were talking about people saying that everyone in Hollywood swapped genders. First of all, if Jennifer Aniston is a guy, then I'm gay as fuck. Second, Sharon Stone is from my hometown, and she definitely has always been a woman. The best part is there's a car salesman in my hometown whose claim to fame is that he fucked her in high school. Just thought that y'all might enjoy that little piece of trivia. Justin, I did enjoy that.
I can't blame that car salesman. No. It's funny that that's part of his pitch for like, hey, how you doing? Like giving a Hyundai Santa Fe or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this thing's got power steering. It's got heated seats. I fucked Sharon Stone one time, by the way.
Yeah, do you know that? So you know you can trust me. You know I know what hits because I once fucked Sharon Stone. I don't remember if I mentioned that or not.
It probably does work with dudes. Like it's a great conversation starter, and then you're just like, I gotta buy this guy's car. Okay. This is from our buddy W. Subject line, Rob Ford's brother Doug and 3 men in a hot tub. Hey, love the podcast. You all talking about Rob Ford reminded me that one of the things his conservative brother did as Premier of Ontario, first off, what? Premier of Ontario? What kind of fucking job is that?
I think that's governor. Right? Ontario is a province, which is like a state here. So I assume that's the governor of Ontario.
Oh, is it next to Mordor? Okay. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Ontario's awesome. One of the things he did as Premier of Ontario was to change the longtime Ontario Provincial Trillium logo because to him it looked too much like 3 men in a hot tub. I'll let you be the judge of that, Trae.
That right there is supposed to be 3 men. You know what?
Those
actually, I can kind of see it.
I can kind of see it too. Now,
that's very... Yeah,
I wouldn't have seen it if it wasn't pointed out, which means that his brother doth protest too much, I think.
Yes, I agree. Like now that you say that, it's like, yes, I can see that. But landing on that and making it a problem is
it
says way more about you. Says way more about you than the logo itself.
Isn't that like Streisand effecty to you? Like nobody was thinking about that at all, and now you
for sure.
Anyways, it seemed to scare Dougie so much that he spent $90,000 of taxpayer dollars to have it redesigned. That's so goddamn funny. And last but not least, this is our buddy Joel. Subject line's squirrel fan art for Trae and Cho. Cho is king, Trae is queen. Feel free to use my name, Joel Kaplan. What's up, Joel? I'll make this short. Cho, y'all had a conversation not long ago of what was art and what wasn't. See the collage that you spoke of that you made that is in the background of your videos. So I parse. Is this art? I had a buddy of mine print these squirrel chess pieces out for me, and then I modified them, painted them, gold-leafed the crowns, and made the pipe, whiskey jug, teacup, and monocle. Is it art, or is it just me tooting my own horn? Either way, kind of hope that this pisses off Trae because he's the queen in this scenario. Love y'all like butter. Hold on, let me show you here. I say art.
Hold on, I need to. I know
focusing.
I can't see. I think on Riverside, people watching this, I think will be able to see it, but I can't because of the connection right now, which sucks. But they're chess pieces, right?
Yeah, hold on, I'm texting it.
So here, I want him to know. Here's my rationalization at this point in time. First of all, I mean, of course, I want to be the king, but in terms of chess pieces. The queen is objectively the hittingest piece on the board.
That is true. I knew.
So I can make that work for me.
I knew it,
Joel. So it's okay. But
but
also, I definitely think it's art.
It's got our names here, Cho and Trae.
Yeah, those are rad.
Those are rad. I'm sending this to Burns so he can put them up here. Burns, you heard me just say that just now. There you go. There is that's airmail. Got some good ones this week. We appreciate y'all as always being here on this silly stupid show, Trae. Oh, and next week I'm gonna be talking more about war and stuff, but different people. It'll be fun. Can't wait.
All right. This weekend, if you listen to this when it comes out, this weekend I'm at the Looney Bin in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So please come see me. And then after that, I'm at the Comedy Store in La Jolla, San Diego area. And then we got Des Moines Omaha, Kansas City, St. Louis, Indianapolis, Austin. Those not particularly in that order, but that's where I'll be in the near future, but a lot of other places this fall. So go to TraeCrowder.com and check out the upcoming shows and come see me, I hope.
Hey, everybody, CoreyRyanForrester.com is where you can see me in Lexington on August 14th and Charlottesville, Virginia on August 15th. Going to be a blast, CoreyRyanForrester.com. That's where you can also find my bonus stuff site where I'm doing a new podcast called Public Domain Sleepy Time Theater. We're reading Mark Twain, Adventures of Tom Sawyer. It's awesome. Listen to Well Read. Listen to all the other podcasts in the Skewniverse, Weekly Skews, Gravy Baby, all that stuff. And stay fancy, motherfuckers.
Skew-wee.
Skew. Here's Lydia Lovelace.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Royalty and rednecks are alike. They both like cutting and picking fights. Biscuits and baked beans where they don't belong. Sit on down with Corey and Trae and learn some fancy shit today. We'll laugh a little even when they're wrong. They'll take you to a magical place where if you call someone a cunt, nobody cares. They keep it debonair at putting on airs, putting on airs, putting on airs.